action figures.
Hey Poweters, and welcome to another edition of Powet Toys. I'm your host Extra Zero, and tonight I'm going to be talking about what's considered the most controversial figure in the Transformers movie toy line, and the most controversial movie design. This, of course, is the leader Megatron figure. So what makes him so controversial, you might ask? Well, first of all, it's the price point. $40 is a lot to justify for this figure. He's pretty clunky, he's pretty big, he has electronics, but still $40 is kind of steep for a figure when we're used to seeing $30, $35 for the leader figures. Another controversy is his design. Many fans weren't happy when they first saw Megatron's face, which didn't really resemble much of anything. Hasbro and ILM later changed the design to this, but still, it's not iconically Megatron like the new Prime is iconically Prime. On the back of the box, it's interesting because you actually see they have the old head sculpt on the promo figure here, or the test shot figure rather, whereas in the box he sports the new head sculpt. Another key difference that makes the package interesting is on the back he's got red lights. The figure, much like Leader Prime, has yellow lights, and he of course screams like a velociraptor, which doesn't make much sense for Megatron. And last but not least, the final controversy with Megatron is people were expecting a very epic, a very grand alt mode, when really with Megatron we get stuck with a giant protoform. People were expecting a tank, maybe a large-scale jet, and we get a big protoform figure with wings, which is supposed to be a Cybertronian jet, but of course in the movie their protoforms transfer into entry mode spaceships. So as far as the packaging is concerned, Megatron is packed in his robot mode. Not much to say about it other than it's very red, which I discussed in my Barricade review. It's all in all nice packaging. You get a very nice view of the robot. It sticks out on the shelf, and it does a good job of displaying the figure for what it is. You have to give this guy credit. He looks better in person than he does in the pictures, which is part of the reason why I bought him. So, without further ado, let's unbox him and see what I think of the figure. Okay, so now I've got Megatron out of his package. He's in the robot mode. He came packed in. First thing you're going to notice is he's a big, solid figure. Doesn't feel hollow at all. He's a bit hefty, and while he's a bit top-heavy, all his leg joints are ratcheted, so he will stand up very nicely. As you can see, I've got him on my hand here. Another thing you'll notice are these individually placed chess pieces, which give him a nice look that the Transformers movie is going for with these panels upon panels. In the box I showed it to you, but out of the box it's a bit more impressive as you see all the panels smooth down as I pull on this lever here. It's the same gimmick Leader Prime has, and when I let go, they rotate out, along with these energon beams, I guess that's what they are, or energon blades, whatever they are. It's a neat gimmick, and it hides some of the lack of detail on the wings back here. You'll notice that he looks a bit different from the actual movie Megatron, mostly because the actual movie Megatron is he's more smoother, more round, more humanoid looking, and he does not have these wings. I wish they'd found a way to let you fold the wings down to give him more of that look. He has some nice detailing here. I'm not a big fan of this blue. I wish they would have done a wash like they had on Blackout to bring out some more black details to make him an overall darker figure. I also don't like the fact they used the black application for the mouth. It's a bit of an inaccurate paint job. These copper details along the figure are nice though, as well as the black detailing. Another thing to notice, the light piping in his eyes does make him look pretty imposing. The molded detail is pretty nice, and I just wish that they went with the better color scheme, because I think it would have made it a better looking and easier to sell figure overall. He's got a good deal of articulation. All these joints are ratcheted, move out, in, up, down, left, right, you name it. Even the fingers are individually articulated, but his head doesn't move. They sacrificed head articulation for a poorly designed, a poorly designed choice when it came to the vehicle mode. That's really about it for the design of his robot mode. He has some neat gimmicks here, though. As you see, he's got these pods on both arms. On the left arm, if you rotate his hand up, he has a neat automorph gun, and on his right arm, if you open up this chamber here, you can see that there is a little rope you can pull out, and they gutted a missile feature from his arm. I initially thought mine was broken. It turns out in the instructions you're just supposed to pull this part out, and there is a lever on this pod here. You can pull down on it and move it around a little bit. It's supposed to be a claw mace is what the instruction calls it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put his hand back and show you the transformation. So the first step is we want to go ahead and move his hands back, and we will lift these sections up. We're going to disconnect the arms from the body. We're going to lift the middle section up. His head will disconnect, and as you can see they do have a ball joint on here, but because of this lock it just nothing doing when it comes to head movement. So all this is going to be free floating. We're going to take his legs. There's a little bit of automorph on the legs. If you move his knees outward, you can see that his feet move upward. They split in half a little bit. So we're going to go ahead next and lock his arms down into his back. We'll save these for later. We're going to pull this cockpit section forward. As you see as I do that, it creates lights and sounds by accident, but there's a bit more automorph. We're going to move the head into place, hide the face with that tab. Lock his upper body into place by pulling this tab down. Split the feet and move those under the wings. You want to have them so these tabs are up when they go under the wings. We're going to lock those tabs into the bottom of the wings. It's a bit difficult. There we go. Do that on the other side. His arms came out, so we're just going to relock those down into place. Move his tail fin up into position. Pull that back end up. And make sure that the wheels on the bottom of the jet are facing down. And then we can just go ahead, press these tabs into place, and we can finally extend the cockpit. So Megatron in vehicle mode is pretty much featureless. He has wheels on his bottom, and that's about it. The whole mode kind of feels like an afterthought. Not even in the instructions they even suggest using the automorph gun arm as a weapon in vehicle mode. As far as the head's concerned, you can see on the back of the box that this tab here was obviously made for the original head, as it's concealed in the pictures there. There are sounds in this mode, but the lights are concealed. It's the same Velociraptor screech that we heard before in robot mode. So all in all, the vehicle mode is a complete afterthought, and it's a terrible vehicle mode for a $40 toy. At the end of the day, if you absolutely have to have Megatron after seeing the movie, and this does in fact turn out to be the definitive version, get this one. I don't have the Voyager version yet, so I can't say whether that one will be better, but from the pictures it certainly looks like you're going to get more of your money's worth. But if you need to spend $40 on a Transformer figure this summer, make it this guy, not this guy. This one's recommended only for the hardcore. I'm Extra Zero, and this has been a Powet Toys review.